What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. I'm here to give you a ranking of the top 5 candidates for the Chargers head coaching job. Let's get into it, guys. So before we get started, let's do a quick rundown, a quick breakdown of Brandon Staley's tenure as a Chargers head coach. Also, what their outlook or their future could be like in the next upcoming year, especially next year in 2020, as far as salary cap and how the team could also look. So let's get into it, guys. So Brandon Staley's tenure ended after a terrible loss. The Raiders, who previously the week before lost to the Vikings 3-0. They scored no points versus the Vikings. Terrible game, weird game, but it ended up losing 3-0. They hang 63 on the Chargers, and albeit it was out Keenan Allen, it was without Justin Herbert, but still, like fumbles galore, bad play, bad turnovers. It looked like the team had, especially the defense, really given up on Brandon Staley. And as far as Brandon Staley goes, I'm not a Chargers fan, but I've been saying for the last year plus. Go on my channel, go back to last October. I did a video around October saying Sean Payton should be the head coach of the LA Chargers after last season. And if you remember during that time, Sean Payton was on Colin Cowherd's show talking glowingly about Justin Herbert 1 and Lamar Jackson 2. And I was saying during that video, I'm like, okay, which situation would open up first? Clearly, we all know it would be Staley. You know, even with Lamar Jackson, his contract issues and stuff like that, or his non-contract issues during that time, I thought Harbaugh would be there long term, or at least longer than Staley would. So I said during that week 4 period, that they should get rid of Staley sometime during the season and hire Sean Payton. Clearly didn't happen. Division rival, the Broncos got Sean Payton and they lost out there. So with that being said, my personal take on it, and you'll see through my rankings list, I have no defensive-minded defensive coordinators. I have none of those guys being in the running for the Chargers' new head coaching spot. The defense can be fixed. You know, they have talent. They have guys who can play. You know, they just didn't play well under Staley, who's a defensive-minded guy. I think the Chargers, the Panthers, those are the main two teams right now who need a new head coach. Those two guys, or those two franchises, need to get their quarterback situation right. Herbert and Bryce Young, both to me, have talent. Obviously, the Panthers need a bunch of O-line and receiver help, but the Chargers aren't too far off either. Going to the salary cap future, right now, going into next season, going to the summer, the Chargers are negative 45 in the hole. Negative 45. And they have no running back for the future. They only have one good left tackle, and that's it. No other good player on that offensive line, really. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are both having high salaries. Joey Bosa, Derwin James, and Khalil Mack all have high salaries, and only one playing well is the older Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa's always injured, and Derwin James has kind of took a step down. He's a good safety still, but he's not great. But he's paid like a top-notch great safety. So, you know, out of all those guys named, Mack, Bosa, Derwin James, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, I think 2 or 3 of those guys might have to go. You know, so first and foremost, to get some salary cap space, to get some room, you know, I think, and obviously, Austin Eckler on the last year of his deal should not be returning to that franchise. They barely want to bring back this year. He couldn't find a trade partner. You know, he had a terrible season also this year. You know, also with the injuries and stuff, I understand that. But as of right now, this Chargers, you know, with some people, I know some analysts on social media saying this Chargers job should be coveted. I don't think so. It's not that coveted, in my opinion. It's a decent job. You got a good quarterback. You got a left tackle. You got a decent above-average corner in Asante Samuel Jr., but that's about it. That's about it. So we'll see how everything shakes out, but I don't think this Charger job is as great as some people say it is. Now, on to my top candidates. I'm starting from 1. I'm starting from 1 and work my way down to 5. So at 1, for me personally, I have the hot name when Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator. He's had this offense was rocking and having top 10, top 5 numbers the last couple of years since he's been there with the Lions. I think he's the man for the job. He's a young man, 37 years old, and we see what he's done with Jared Goff and that offense. As I said, just a few minutes ago, the Chargers will lose some weapons, some ways, somehow. Whether it be receiver Keenan Allen and or Mike Williams, Austin Eckler is gone. The O line is not the greatest, so they're gonna have to find ways to scheme guys open to have players make plays. And I think Ben Johnson is the guy for the job for me personally at number one. Number two, and also from some people's list, I haven't seen him on his list, but I would assume, this number two is a hot name also. He could be number one, but I don't know quite yet. That's why he's not one for me, and that's Eric Bieniemy. It was questioned, and it is still, who called the plays in his tenure with the Chiefs all them years. Reed, as we all know, calls the plays. So what was Bieniemy's role? We're not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say me. I'm not quite sure. But his first time doing the play calling by himself. If he did assist Reed at some point, the first time him solo playing, doing play calling, is now this year with Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders. He's done a good job. Howell's been sacked a lot, but his O-line is trash. He has good weapons. That's why he has some good numbers, some good moments. And Howell is talented. I did a video on Howell years ago when he was drafted, saying he could be a breakout star or a dark horse star, to join the league. And he's not a star yet. Only had 1 year so far under his belt being a full-time starter. But he's looked okay. Just the O-line situation is bad, but a lot of turnovers, a whole lot of fumbles, interceptions, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens next year. If he stays the Commander starter or goes somewhere else, so we'll see what happens. But Bieniemy goes as Bieniemy goes. I do like him. I think he needs a head coaching job somewhere, but I don't know if the Lions is the best spot for him. It possibly could, though. Not Lions, but the Chargers. AFC West veteran. He was with the Chiefs all those years. So he does. He is familiar with the division, and he would know. I know Matt Nagy's there now, but Andy Reid is calling plays. He would know from an offensive standpoint to help the defense about what the Chiefs might be thinking. So in the division matchups, they could have the edge and, could possibly win out there against the Chiefs. So we'll see what happens. But I have Ben Johnson 1, Eric Bieniemy 2. Number 3, kind of a hot name, but it's kind of questionable of, is it him or is it the actual quarterback? And that's 2 rookies. Rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud and his offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowik. First time being a Texans head coach, Texans offensive coordinator, first time play caller. Like I said, him and Stroud have been working wonders this season. But the question is it him or is it Stroud? I think it's a mix of both. There's not a uber amount of talent at the Texans on the O-line or in the weaponry, tight end, receivers, or running backs. But Stroud is dealing, and also Slowik is making good calls as well, scheming guys open. So I do like Slowik as a potential head coach this offseason. Depends on, some more jobs will open up most likely. So we'll see. 36 years old, first time play caller. Maybe another year or two to wait, but we'll see. We'll definitely see about Bobby Slowik. Then you have my number 4 guy. Number 4, I'm going kind of off the wall here. That's Lincoln Riley from USC. If he does go to the LA Chargers, won't have to go so far. He wants to move that far away from where he's at now. He's an air raid quarterback, as we all know. Herbert would fit that scheme perfectly, no matter who the weapons are. Herbert has a cannon for an arm, great arm talent, all that good stuff. Everything we all know about Herbert. So he would fit the scheme for Herbert perfectly. So that fit there. And also the way USC is going, we're not sure what their future is like. With no Caleb Williams now, who came with Lincoln Riley, who had decent success with Caleb Williams in 2 years at USC, but not what they expected. Will he feel pressure and want to bounce to the NFL? So I doubt it. That's why he's so low. But if he were to want to jump ship, I think the Chargers would make a lot of sense. They really, really would. And last on my list, another college guy, and that's Matt Campbell, Iowa State's head coach. He has a good future, a good past, with Iowa. The Cyclones are also with Toledo. He done great at those 2 last jobs. NFL style offense. He coached Brock Purdy and Brees Hall, so he has some type of former NFL players on his rosters, and they've been coached up pretty well. Both are talented, and both are stars or young stars, trying to emerge as true stars right now in today's NFL. I think he's a guy to look out for if the job is available for him. He's 43 years old, been in college football for a while now. If the job was offered to him, would he go? And that's a real question there. He's trying to turn around Iowa now. No, not turn around, but he's been there for 8 years now. What really more? What else can he really do? They're not in a no really good position to win it all or nothing like that. So to make a college football playoff. So if he might feel stagnant there, he might want to jump ship and no, not in a bad way, but he might want to leave and expand his wings and go somewhere else. But he has no NFL experience, but he has been courted by NFL teams the last couple of years. So, the last 4 and 5, the last two guys, Lincoln Riley and Matt Campbell, to me are kind of long shots, but I think are very possible. And I think they will do a decent job. Both guys, offensive-minded guys, all five on the list are. But I think that those two college guys could definitely bring a different wrinkle, a different look in to help Justin Herbert in the offense that could be a new look. It probably will be a new look offense, new weapons, new running back. Hopefully they need to build the O-line up some. So I think that's the best bet. Some people want to go defense and go with Bill Belichick. That sounds cool. That sounds great. But we already know, the Spanos family for the Chargers are very cheap unless they change their minds. They've been consistently cheap for a long time. I don't see them wanting to trade or pay for Bill Belichick. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of resources. And even still, if you fire your GM and your head coach, Bill Belichick's going to be your GM and your head coach like he was with the Patriots. He did a terrible job there the last 10, 12 years, in my personal opinion. So I think they want to go somewhere else. Hire GM, get a young head coach, Ben Johnson, Bieniemy, whatever, and then you hire a D coordinator because the defense has talent. I think get rid of Joey Bosa, probably trade or get rid of Khalil Mack, start over young. You have Sante Sam, you have some good DBs, you have some decent linebackers, you have Derwin James still under contract long term. Now they paid him a lot of money. He's not playing great, but he's playing good. So you can make some work and some shake for a couple years to some more talent from the drafts or free agency once the cap space get back better, can kind of form. But as of right now, I think the way to go is offense and offense first. Get Herbert not fix Herbert, but fix his offense situation. Get the O-line better, get him weapons, and get Herbert comfortable. Get him throwing, get him moving the ball. He does. And that's the thing. He does a good job, but I think there's a next step Herbert could take. But with the lack of weapons that he might stand to lose this offseason, we'll see where everything goes and how everything shakes out. So, but that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.